Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, if this is your first time, my name is Kat. I go by Wicked Cat Stitch here on YouTube as well as Instagram, and that is Cat with a K. I am here with my second official Flosstube, and it's been a really great ride, I just have to say. I have been sick for like the past 3 weeks. It's crazy. I caught this like awful cold that was going around and it really knocked me down. So I haven't gotten as much stitching done as I would like to. You might hear it in my voice. I'm still kind of recovering from that. But I had to come on here and update you guys because there's so much going on and I will get way too behind. So here is my Flosstube number 2 officially. I'm going to start out with my enabler spotlight because we all love that. And first off, I just want to say that I have 6 people on this one. And I'm going to try and keep it to like 5 moving forward. But part of the reason I needed to record is because I have 6 people that I want to shout out, and then I'm already adding people for my Flosstube number 3. So if you don't hear your name on this one, you might be on the next one. So first of all, I want to talk about Eve from Queen V Crafts. She's a process stitcher. She is test stitching for Cat at Whittier Stitches. She's test stitching Candy, I believe, in yellow and blue. I could be wrong, but I know yellow for sure. And she's also doing the Femurs and Fungi Sal from Fine Frog. Yeah, Fine Frog. Stitchery, something like that. I'm not doing it, but she is. And I know that a lot of you guys are also doing it. She does stitch holiday, Easter, Christmas, and she's doing the Deadly Aquarium Sal. So check out Eve at Queen V, and that's VEE Crafts. She will be tagged down below. Also, Cross Stitch Mad Sarah. She is from Newcastle and she's a nurse. She is also not a fan of back stitching, which I personally can definitely feel those vibes because I have a lot of back stitching to do in some of my projects and I'm really not looking forward to it. So if you guys have any tips on back stitching for me and also for Cross Stitch Mad Sarah, I'm sure we would appreciate it. She doesn't have a lot of whips. She only has 5, but she works on full coverage. She has a fancy lady. She's doing Dark Queen of the Sea, and she loves elephants. Next up is going to be Emma Bobbins. She is from Glasgow, that is Scotland, in the UK, but she has also lived in New Zealand. She is a nerdy, techie gamer. She has an IT degree. She's also into videography for traveling. She and her husband go on trips, and she's got some videos posted for that on a different channel, I believe. And she is amazing. She actually has bloopers at the end of her videos, which are kind of funny. So go ahead and check her out. That's Emma Bobbins. Next up, Nancy Sheridan. She does Natterings with Nancy. It is her Flosstube. She's an occupational therapist. She has amazing tattoos. She has been only cross-stitching since last year, but she also does embroidery. She's doing Saga by Long Dog Samplers, and she has a bet with her husband that he's betting her that she cannot finish Saga by the time that her girls are out of the house, and she has one in preschool. So cross your fingers and hope that she wins that bet. So next up, I have a Crow Stitcher, Andy, a fellow goth, witchy goth. They have a lot of projects, full coverage, samplers, dragons, holiday. Also, their bat nails, amazing. And just, I love their style, and everything that they do is pretty much right up my alley. So definitely go and check out the Crow Stitcher. And then the last one that I want to talk to you about is 2 people, and that is Thread Gremlins. Hello, Caroline and Elizabeth. Caroline is newer, Elizabeth is more experienced, and they are so funny. We do love a duo. They are not sisters. I think they're just really good friends, which I'm jealous of. I wish I had a friend to film Flosstubes with. So anybody in the Philadelphia area, you want to collab with me and, you know, maybe not a gothy person, but like somebody to show like the other stuff that I don't do, that would be awesome. Let's do that. Let's do that. So they're great. Caroline, even though she's new, the funny thing about Caroline is that she doesn't mark off her progress as she stitches. We just found this out recently and I was like, you don't? Wow. No grids, doesn't mark off her progress. She's just out there living, okay? And they're participating in the Mira May. Caroline has a Nora Corbett project that she's working on, and I'm not going to spoil you. You need to go and follow Thread Gremlins and check out what she's going to be working on for Mira May. So that is my enabler spotlight. And next I am going to move into my one FFO that I have, just one. And I posted this one on Instagram. This is Dead Inside. And this one is by Cross Stitch Traveler. And this one, again, the frame I thrifted from Goodwill. And this was Marjorie Maid's Pick-a-Whip. Her prompt was stitch on a project with words. So definitely words. And that is what I did with it. Right now, she has a new Pick-a-Whip, and it is No 310. I don't know what she has against Los Angeles area codes, but apparently no Los Angeles people are allowed to stitch. No, just kidding. It's no DMC 310 in your project. I don't know what I'm going to work on for that prompt, but if you want to play along with Marjorie and her Pick-a-Whips, she is Marjorie Made Stitches on Instagram, and that's where she posts them. She does talk about them in her videos, but she doesn't do a video just to give you the Pick-a-Whip. So if you want to play along, you got to get into Instagram. Marjorie Made Stitches on Instagram. And so my next one, I want to talk about WIPGO. So I did get some progress on my WIPGO projects. Again, this is my WIPGO board, if we have forgotten about it. This is it. And my calls are for Boho Moon and the Death Square. So I did get some progress on these, and I would like to show that to you. So we're going to show you Boho Moon first. This is patterned by Zephyr Mood on Etsy. And we're going to put up a picture of what it is going to look like, where we're going, and also where we were. And this is where we are now. So we've got, I filled in up to here, and I started coming up on this side. So we're motoring along. I have not hit my goal of 1,000 stitches yet this month, but I do have another week or so left of April, so I can still get that in there. But I did get some progress on it, which is great. And then next up, I have the Death Square. And I've been getting a lot of good comments on this project on Instagram. Some people following along. The Death Square is by, ooh, I don't remember. Screaming Heart Designs? Screaming Heart Designs. And it is being, well, it's being worked with some Night Stalker's Calling floss. And here's where we're going. Here's where we were. And here's where we are. So I have made a bit of progress on this one. As you can see, I finished all of this up here, and I finished down in here, and I did the frame for the next little thing. Is going to look like that. So we are motoring right along on that one, and I'm about halfway through. I put about 500 stitches on this one, so we're pretty close to goal on that project. So that is my WIPGO project. Next up, we're going to go into my new starts. I have 4 new starts to show you. I have a problem. Okay, so, and the first new start I want to show you is Never Mind by Quaternion Designs. And, ooh, I've got a needle hanging here. So we have, where did I put my, okay. Again, confusion. Okay. So this is where we are. And I mean, obviously I'm picking my own colors. And this is on 18 count oatmeal Aida. And these are just some, again, I'm trying to use up a lot of this old floss that I have from Amazon, just like in this cheap kit. It's not DMC, and I'm just trying to get rid of it. So that's what that is. This little needle minder was made by me out of some charms. And the gridding on this, I want to talk about, because this was an older piece of Aida that I had gridded for another project. And if I had it to do over again, I wouldn't have done this. And as you know, I mark my projects with friction pens, and I've always known that there's an issue with friction pens if you erase the lines and expose them to cold, like freezing temperatures, the lines will all come back. But I'm not worried about that because I don't travel with my pieces, and I don't think that, I mean, I don't think that's going to be a problem. Plus, if you then use the heat source again, they disappear again. But if you have it professionally framed on the wall or something, and then I don't know how it would, I don't know. Regardless, it never really bothered me. But I recently found out that after a lot of exposure to UV light, so sunlight, the lines can come back as like a faded light brown on your work. So I'm not using them on white anymore, but if it's on a brown like this oatmeal, I think it might be okay if they ever do pop up again. But moving forward, I'm not going to be doing this anymore. I'm only going to grid or put my dots or my little pluses over in a place where I'm going to stitch over them later. That's how I'm going to handle that moving forward. So any of my projects that you actually see all of these lines everywhere, that's going to be a thing of the past. But I wanted to use up this Aida, so I started this project on it. Quaternion has a lot of projects that I want to work on. The Dragons and Apples one is just beyond, and I really want to work on that, but I have so many large projects that I'm working on right now. It's hard to start new ones. She says as she shows her 4 new starts. Okay. This next one is the Edgar Allan Poe tree, and this is by Tiny Modernist, and this is while we all not very far, just a little start. And these little dots that you're seeing up here, they are going to be stitched over, so they're okay. But as you can see, I didn't grid the rest of it. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm breaking bad habits. This needle minder was made by me. This was actually a barrette that I had when I was a kid. And I just pulled the barrette part off of it and put a magnet on it, and now it is a needle minder. Mentioned in my Flosstube 1.5 that I love pandas. They are my favorite animal. I just hit the desk. I hope that didn't shake the camera. You know, we get used to this here on this channel. There's earthquakes. I mean, speaking of earthquakes, I did experience the earthquake that was in New Jersey. I am in Philly, so we sit on the same fault line. So yes, we did shake here in Philly. It was just a little shake, but it's always exciting because we don't get them a lot. Next new start, I had talked about in my first floss tube that I was going to be doing more reflections pieces by ink circles. And I did start Reflections of Cairo. And it's just a tiny little start. This one is, here we go. And you can't even see, like it's not going to show you. But it is being worked with a mist-dyed floss from Night Stalker's Calling. It's just brown and green, but you can't really tell. It's just brown and green. And again, these dots, before I decided that I wasn't going to do that anymore, I've got dots on here. But since this is a darker, it's like an oatmeal, but it's a lighter oatmeal. And I think it might be okay. But, oh, yeah, I got to change the way I do things. Got to change my formula, my method. I'm still learning, and I think that's the best part. So, again, if there's ever any tips or tricks that you have for me, definitely appreciate them. And I just realized I'm missing one of my projects. So, hold on one moment. And we are back. So, the next new start that I have for you, I started because of this fabric that was sent to me by Bestitch Me. This is Gold Rush. This was in their fabric of the month. And you guys, I'm not crazy about this color, but the first thing that I thought of when I saw this fabric was a pattern, an LDS, Long Dog Sampler, that I have been obsessing over for the longest time and just never purchased. So getting this made me think that, you know, now is the time. So I started You Belong to Me by Long Dog Samplers. It is their Egyptian one, Ancient Egypt one. And here is where we are. So not a terrible amount of progress, but this is being stitched with DMC 820 for all of it, because I know that gold and royal blue are very prevalent colors in ancient Egyptian art. So that's what we're going to go with. And this little dude on my Instagram, I asked everybody to help me name the goat. And his name is Rufus. So I figured since this project is going to be with me for the next couple years, and he is the first creature to materialize, he is going to be my little mascot for this project. So this is my Rufus project. So if you ever hear me talking about the Rufus project, it is this one. That brings us to a very special new start. This is the Curvy Candy Sal. Also, the Unique is Beautiful Sal, whichever or both to hashtags that you would like for this. And this was art by Erin Culpepper, and it was charted by Kat at Whittier Stitches. The pattern is free, guys. If you want to get in and do this with us, the pattern is free. You'll want to go ahead and get over to Whittier Stitches. She has a link to the pattern on her Instagram. So get over there, download it, and join us. Okay, so I have been doing candy in a purple and black conversion that Kat at Whittier Stitches was kind enough to provide for me. She had already done a purple version of candy, but she didn't release it. If you do the candy Sal, if you want to stitch her along with us, there is a pink version, pink and yellow, I believe. There's a blue version, and then there's the green version. This one is not included. This one is just for me right now. It might be available to everybody later on. But this is how far I've gotten so far. Again, needle minder by me. So this one is a lot more See, I had a lot more done on this than here, and then I had to rip out a whole bunch of stitches, I think over here, because I was one too far over. I was one too far over, and it has to be perfect because this is for Kat. It is a test stitch. She's probably going to have a picture of this once she starts to sell it, but like so far, I think this is gorgeous. It's on 18 count Aida, and this is fabric by Bestitch Me. It's Lovely Lavender is the color. And I am using the called for that Kat has provided. This project also taught me how to do half stitches. I've never done a half stitch before in a project, and there are half stitches in here. One thing I'll tell you guys about this, it feels like full coverage because you fill her in completely, but she doesn't have a background. And why is it that you guys only refer to like full coverage if it's a square or a rectangle? But if you're just doing the image without the background, it's not full coverage. Even though there's a stitch like in every single place of the image, there's no background where the image is. Like you're not seeing the fabric. Can we normalize things like this, like the fancy ladies, as being full coverage, or no? Or is that a big no? Please explain. Please explain to the new baby stitcher why this is not full coverage. Inquiring minds want to know. So that's Candy. And I'm trying to get 200 stitches a day on her, but I just had to rip out 200 stitches. So I'm feeling a little disheartened. All right. I did not start the Deadly Aquarium Sal. I did not start the Deadly Aquarium Sal. I am so sorry about that. The reason I didn't start it is because I started Candy instead, and also because I had 4 other new starts, and the frame dropped, and the frame is good, but I don't know. Like I saw it and I wasn't as excited as I wanted to be. I don't know if that happened to anybody else. I know a lot of people have started it. I'm following everybody and they're stitching it up, and I just am focusing my energy and my stitching time on other things. So I've got some whip progress that are not new starts, just other whips that were not on my WIPGO that I worked on. And got a couple stitches in on Zipper ASMR. So this one, taking all of the floss out with the pattern. There we go. All right. This one is Henna Mandala ink circles. You can see where we were over my face. And this is where we are. And so I didn't get a lot done on this. This is 14 count Aida, 3/1. Again, I didn't mean to buy the Aida in 14 count. That was my bad. But since I had it, I was like, why not? Yes, why not? So that one got a little bit of love. That one probably got the least amount of love out of all of the whips that I'm going to show you that I worked on since I last filmed a Flosstube. This next one is, oh, what happened to you, my love? Hold on, let me fix this. She does not look, she's not in her best form. Okay. This is Dancing Witches by Raven Stitchcraft. Let's put that over here. This is where we're going, where we were, and where we are, where we are. Look at her, isn't she gorgeous? Yes. So we have some booba. We finished her hat. We've got her hair. We can kind of see the face, half a face of the next witch coming in right next to her. I love, 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 love this pattern, guys. And again, this is Chance of Rain by the Digi Stitchery. And the floss on this one was Morticia Night Stalker's Calling. It is a very nice gray. Gray. Everything is gray. Next, whip that got a little bit of love. Just a little bit of love. That's all we need is love. I have problems, man. Okay. It is Tree of Life number 8 by Stitch It Picasso. And this is where we're going. This is where we were. And this is where we are. So definitely got a little love on this one. I don't know what all of this. Some, you know, that black Ada, it picks up every single thing in the house, doesn't it? Cat hair, crumbs, bad vibes. It just absorbs everything in the house, I swear. But yes, Sea Glass is the color. Sea Glass by, ooh, there's a moth. I have moths in my house, these little tiny baby moths, and I don't know how to get rid of them. If anybody knows how to get rid of these like little tiny white moths, please, yeah, because I'm afraid that they're going to start eating my floss or my yarn because I do crochet. So if anybody knows how to get rid of little baby moths, let me know. Okay. Next one that got some love is my full coverage piece. And that is Faces of Fairy 74. Jasmine Beckett Griffith is the artiste. It was charted by Hade. And looks like I spilled some coffee on my Q-snap. Oh well. As long as it's not on the fabric, we don't care, right? So we did get some more here. I brought this down here, filled in. And of course this I showed in 1.5 in my 1.5 video that I had already moved down into here. So this one I was working on, and then I started Candy, and I have not picked this back up. So as Marjorie Maid says, you know, she's got to be in the mood for full coverage. I've got to be in the mood for full coverage. The thing I love about Candy is that there's no confetti. So it's like a full coverage without confetti, is how I'm thinking of it in my little baby brain. There are 2 projects that I put on timeout. I'm going to show pictures of them. So the first one is Quaker Sampler by Vivster. I've put that one on timeout. The other one is The New Normal. That was my birthday start by Long Dog Samplers. I put that one on timeout because I started You Belong to Me. And I have that one. I have You Belong to Me going. I also have Opening Gambit. That one. I have that one going. And I don't need 3 or 4 or 5 Long Dog Samplers going at the same time. So I just put them aside for now. They're not UFO'd. They're just on timeout. So I will be picking them back up again. I have a little tiny bit of Hoard. I did get a Lowry. I got a Lowry, and let's talk about it. So the Lowry and I are not friends yet. I found that I stitch faster without it by holding in one hand. I do railroad my stitches, which also accounts for why it takes me so long to stitch. So when I'm using the stand, I do have my non-dominant hand underneath and my dominant hand on top because I'm railroading, right? Now, my left hand, my non-dominant hand, is getting better at finding the holes, the appropriate places to go through from the back of my work. But even still, I have a faster time if I don't use it. So I've been trying to practice with it here and there, but as of this moment, we are not friends yet. If anybody else has any issues with their Lowry, or if you had like some tenuous beginnings, please share. Because I would like to talk to you about it, because everything that I've ever heard is like, oh my God, it's the best thing ever. It's going to do amazing things for your stitching. You're not going to know how you ever survived without it before. And I didn't have that experience. So if you're another person that didn't have that experience, or if you didn't at first and then eventually you fell in love, please share your love story below so I can live vicariously through you and find some hope. For my the rest of my hoard, I got a bunch of patterns from the Murder Puffin on Etsy for bookmarks, and I'm going to cover my face with them now. They're all fantastic. I cannot wait to start them and work on them. The Murder Puffin has a lot of projects that I actually want to do. I'm just starting with these bookmarks. So I highly recommend them, and I'm following them on Instagram. That's actually how I found them. I was following them on Instagram and they posted a picture of some of their patterns and I was like, how did I never know you existed? So I went over and got some of those. Another thing that I have for hoard is I have made my own floss drops. And these are just from these little stickers that I got from a Chinese company that I'm not really trying to I'm not trying to hype them up or anything, but they're cats. And so I'm using these because I got tired of spending money. I've been spending a lot of money on cross-stitching just in general, on patterns and fabric and floss and kitting up the Deadly Aquarium, kitting up Candy, kitting up, everything. So I decided to save myself a little bit of money and just make them myself. And so far, so good. Along the lines with that, I started making my own needle minders. You saw a couple of them on my projects. And I have a couple more that I want to show you guys. So they started off being charms. Get this in focus. So they started off being like little charms, and I just put magnets on the back. But then I got nuts, and I was like, I bet I could buy some of those pins and take those enamel pins. Oh, I'm out of focus. Some of those enamel pins. Get in, loser. We're going to hell. And I just sanded off the pin and put a magnet on it. And then I started getting crazy. And I was like, I have buttons. Maybe I can make a button into a needle minder. Maybe I could use these like Scrabble tiles, focusing, and turn those into needle minders. I went absolutely nuts. And there's just a small way of me saving a little bit of money because I have been spending so much. A little tiny bit about me. I am not married. I do not have any children other than my 2 cats. And so I am a single income household. I also own my own house. So I do not have tons of money to just throw into the breeze, sadly. And so I do like to try and save myself some money wherever I can. Because I clearly have an obsession and I clearly am developing a hoard. So anything I can do to try and keep that together, all the better. So next up, we are going to talk about premonitions. So premonitions, I am going to be doing a giveaway when I get to 500 subscribers. Last I checked, I had 350 and a few, which is 100 more than I had when I filmed 1.5. So thank you. I hope that you are still here. If I was a little bit more low energy in this one, guys, I was sick. I'm still sick. I'm still recovering. My lungs haven't quite got the message that we're not sick anymore. I know you can hear it. It's like hard to breathe and stuff. So since I'm feeling better, I'm going to be doing the 24 hours of cross stitch this weekend, or at least I'm going to try. I should be doing it now, but I'm filming for you fine people. So I will be starting after I edit this video and get it up. I am doing a no buy for 30 days. And I'm going to start that May 1st. So other people are doing Mira May. I am not doing Mira May. I am going to do no buy May. No buy for May. So that's what I'm doing. And then I'm doing a test stitch for Nerdy Stitchy Witchy. Nerdy Witchy Stitchy Amber. I will have her name around here. I can never remember if it's Nerdy Stitchy Witchy or Nerdy Witchy Stitchy. Either way, she's amazing, and she's making patterns now, and I am doing a pattern for her. Doing a test stitch. And I'm really excited to start that and work on it, and I'm just honored that she reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to work on it. Of course. I do love it. So she has two patterns that she sent over to me. One is a moth and one is a snake. I'm going to be doing them both. I think I'm going to start with the moth though. It's very pastel goth vibes. Now I would show a picture of it, but I'm not going to because it's hers. And if you want to see it, you should go follow her on Instagram because she's posted pictures of both of them. So that is really all we have for you now, guys. I can go into my medium moment. So if all you're here for is cross stitch, thank you. I love you. Medium moment. So I am reading through the Jurassic Park series. And if you have not read the book, Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton, I highly suggest that you do, especially if you've seen the movie, because they're different. And I wouldn't say that one is worse or better than the other. I would just say that it's different. It's a different story. And I highly recommend that if you like dinosaurs and if you like Jurassic Park, you should check it out. Also, The Lost World. I have gotten part of the way through The Lost World. And The Lost World also is not like the movie. So highly, highly recommend for all of my dinosaur lovers out there that you hit up Audible or wherever you get your books from and check those out because they're definitely worth it. And that is all that I have for you guys tonight. I am now going to spend the next 8 years of my life editing this video because I coughed so many times. I'm sure you saw already all the breaks. That was when I had coughing fits because, like I said, my lungs have not gotten the message that we're not sick anymore. Get it? All right. So you are the only one who can be you. So go out there and be the best you that you can.